Hello ladies and gentlemen, why do I always do these videos like right when I get out of the shower or wake up? Anyway, welcome to your Friday spot on Pagan Perspective. This week our subject is learning different ways. And what I mean by this, of course, as you have probably heard from the rest of the people who have done videos today, well not today, but this week, it's talking about correspondence and how we feel with working with different groups who work different ways. For example, some groups that I've worked with say that south is earth and north is fire and vice versa, blah blah blah. Just any kind of different thing, mostly with correspondence though, is what the questions seem to be hinting at. And I mentioned how some people thought these correspondence, they took them as doctrine, as you can't do this any other way type thing. And in my experience in Wicca, that is not the case. And this is beyond the Wicca 101 material, because usually whenever somebody is new to Wicca, we give them these kind of guidelines and correspondence and such to kind of put them on their path and get them to get the ball rolling. But they aren't something that you need to stick with if they don't feel right to you. It's just something, anything that you put your energy into is going to come out with the intent that you put into it. If you grew up thinking that the number 13 was unlucky, then whenever you see the number 13, you're going to feel unlucky. If you grew up feeling that red was a color that made you sexy, then whenever you wear red, you're going to feel sexy. It's really not that difficult of a topic or discussion, because it's just so easy for me to recognize that these are all just different theories and different ways of doing things. I actually kind of did a video similar to something like this on my personal channel recently, talking about how people, for some reason, whenever it comes to terms of like spirituality and religion and such, they feel almost as if it's a fact. Like, here's some examples. People have told me before that I am actually worshiping demons, and that they are demons who have tricked me into thinking that they are gods. And so that's another weird thing that I'm like, what? Because it's not something that you can prove. It's not a fact. These are all just theories. And that's what all the correspondence are as well. They're just theories of what somebody thought this color or this candle or this herb or this incense did for them. And while those have a lot of power behind them, because there are people who are believing this in such a large group, and whenever people believe something in a large group, that gives it more power. But it also isn't really that important. What's more important is what fits you individually. They also asked, have any techniques for learning pantheons or crystals, etc.? How about the complexity of herbs? And learning pantheons I've never really had a need to do, I guess. I really only work with Eros and Nyx, and I'll dabble in other pantheons every now and then, or even other gods and goddesses from the same Greek pantheon, but mostly I just kind of work with my own, so I don't really see a reason to memorize all of the pantheons unless you're just bored and want to, so I don't really have any advice on that. It would just be like any other memorization technique I would imagine you would have to teach yourself. Same with crystals or herbs, although I will mention that there was a really fun game, a board game that I played. I want to say it was, what was it? Wild Hunt or something. Just Google like herbalism board game. And it was this little children's board game type thing, and the goal of the game was you were running through the forest and you would draw a card with different ailments, like you're sad, or you fell and scraped your knee, or you have a sunburn, or whatever, And then you would have to have the herb in your inventory of the board game and stuff, and you would have to also know which herb did what, and if you didn't, it would kind of help teach you. And this board game that I played actually was a really freaking fun way to learn how to play herbs. I mean, not play herbs. Learn what different herbs do and what different purposes they have. But it was mostly only medical purposes. It wasn't magical purposes or mystical purposes. But the way I like learning things like that is, like I just said, is playing games with it, making it into a game. Maybe even just something as simple as making flashcards and having a friend ask you about it. But it's something that's really easy to learn if you can find the learning that works for you. Some of us are hands-on learners, some of us are memorization learners, some of us are visual learners who might prefer to go on a hike and have people point out herbs to us, or crystals, or whatever, you know, that you're trying to learn. That's really all I have to say. I'm sorry the video is so short, but I don't really have any other advice. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.